Welcome back to my kitchen, my friends. I will be making a traditional Sicilian recipe. It is called pasta alla Norma. It consists of tomatoes as well as fried eggplants. Now, I will show you the ingredients and we'll get cooking to do this pasta alla Norma, which originates from the city of Catania. For the pasta alla Norma, in Sicily, some family use only garlic with a touch of hot pepper, others only onion, but I'll be using both for richer base. For the tomatoes, you have a few choices. You can use fresh, ripe ones, like the cherry tomatoes I'm using today, or go with the Italian peeled tomatoes from a can. You can also mix passata with fresh tomatoes, which is exactly what I'll be doing for this richer, fuller sauce. And of course, the star of the dish, the eggplant. In Catania, they use the traditional Italian varieties, round, elongated, and the long ones like I'm using today. Each one is perfect once it's fried to that golden, silky softness that makes pasta alla Norma truly Sicilian. A pour of golden Italian extra virgin olive oil, warm and comforting, just the way every good sauce begins. I'll chop an onion, red onion if you like. I mean, if you're in the south of Italy, there is the onions that are called di tropea, which are amazing red onions that when I peel the onion like this, my fingers get purple. But they're really amazing onion for certain sauces that we make for our pastas. So I'm just cutting it and just getting this ready. A full onion is good enough. I don't think more than that. I'll be cooking for 8 people tonight, so this is more than enough. So my recipe, it is for 8 people. Once you have chopped the red onion, add it to the pan and bring the heat up to medium-high so it can start softening right away. I would say you cut them in half if you want to. It's up to you. I like to cut them in half. Sometimes I don't, depends on the mood I'm in. But these are very sweet. You can eat them like this. They're so good, these little cherry tomatoes. Now we need to cut also the garlic. Like I said before, there is some that will only strictly put garlic in. Some will only put onions. And I like to put both. So that's the way I like to do it. Like I like to mince it a little bit. I just find that the onions and the garlic just gives a good flavor together. So at this point here, we're going to add the garlic. And we're going to add the tomatoes that we washed, cut. we will add some salt, pinch of salt, pinch of pepper, and we will add fresh basil to the sauce. I like the basil, it gives a nice flavor. And then we're gonna also add more basil when the sauce is done, mixed with the pasta. And then if you want, these are hot little peppers. Now you can either chop them up or try to cut it in half and just add it whole in there. Oh my goodness, the aroma already starting. The basil, the onions, the garlic, all together. Oh my goodness. So now you let it simmer until they get soft, and then we will mash it up, and we're gonna add a little bit of passata. This is the oregano. I'm gonna add some oregano in here. So now I'm going to add passata rustica. It's the one that is a little bit thicker, which I like, just to add. And we will add a bit of water just to mix it, and we'll let it simmer for a good 20 minutes now. After about 20 minutes, take a fork or a masher and gently break down the tomatoes. You can use an electric chopper, but I don't really recommend it. It makes the sauce too smooth. We want this to stay rustic, just like in Sicily. This is exactly what I mean by rustic. You can still see the little pieces of tomato, onion, garlic, basil, all dancing together in the pan. And the aroma, it's pure southern Italy. After washing the eggplants, I start by cutting off the stem to get them ready for slicing. Then I slice the eggplant in half, and from each half, I make long, even slices. Once I slice the eggplants lengthwise, I cut them into cubes, nice and even. I spread the cubes out on a platter, and this next step is very important. I sprinkle a little salt over them so it can draw out any bitterness from the eggplant. And while I keep getting the eggplant ready, let me take you into the story behind this dish. A story that feels like a little film set in Sicily. Pasta alla Norma was born in Catania, right at the foot of Mount Etna, where the volcano rises like a giant watching over the city. Down in those narrow streets, with laundry dancing in the breeze and church bells echoing in the distance, this dish becomes a symbol of Sicilian soul. It's a recipe built on simple things: tomatoes, basil, eggplant, ricotta salata, but together they create something bold, rustic, and full of heart. And of course, there is a legend. They say that in the late 1800s, a famous Sicilian playwright tasted this pasta and was so overwhelmed that he shouted up and declared, "È una norma," comparing it to Bellini's opera Norma, a masterpiece of passion and beauty. From that moment on, the dish carried the name because it was considered just as perfect, just as dramatic, just as unforgettable. Every time I make it, I imagine those Sicilian kitchens, the scent of tomatoes simmering, basil perfuming the air, eggplant frying to a golden softness. It feels like a scene from an old Italian film, warm, nostalgic, and full of life. Let me tell you why I'm making this pasta dish. So when one of my viewers told me his family couldn't stop talking about the pasta alla norma after their trip to Italy, I understood completely. This dish stays with you, and today I'm making it for them and for all of you. A little taste of Italy, a little taste of Sicily, a little piece of history, and a whole lot of heart. So now that I've given you a little history about pasta alla norma, let's get back to the recipe. I take the cubes, eggplants, and rinse them in cold water. This helps wash away any bitterness before we fry them up. I lay them on a tray lined with kitchen paper towel and gently pat them completely dry, because dry eggplant fries beautifully and gives you that perfect golden brown. Once the eggplants are pat dry, we can start frying them in hot vegetable oil. As you can see, the eggplant cubes aren't golden brown yet, so just keep moving them gently as they fry. Little by little, they'll take on that beautiful color. Look at them now, just perfect golden brown. Go ahead and lift them out of the hot oil and place them on a tray lined with paper towel. While they're still warm, give them a gentle sprinkle of salt and then keep going with the rest of the batch. Just take your time. Every little cube will turn golden and delicious. Ricotta salata. It's a must-have ingredient. That salty, aged ricotta is what gives pasta alla norma its true Sicilian soul. At this point, you've got your tomato sauce bubbling gently, filling the kitchen with that beautiful aroma, and your pot of water is already in a rolling boil. Now I take about 3/4 of the fried eggplant and stir it right into the sauce. It softens, melts in, and gives the tomato that rich, sweet, roasted flavor. And I always keep at least a little bit aside. That final quarter is for decorating the dish later, so every plate looks as beautiful as it tastes. Don't forget to gently mix the eggplant and the tomato sauce together, letting those flavors hug each other. And now comes the ingredient that gives this sauce its true Sicilian character. I grate in the ricotta salata. letting it fall like snowy flakes over the hot tomato and eggplant. It melts just slightly, weaving itself into the sauce and making it richer, silkier, and rich in flavor. Then I give everything a slow, gentle stir so all those flavors come together beautifully. In a world where pasta choices spark very dramatic opinions, I already know the comments are coming. Yes, I'm using Bucatini. The one with the hole? No, it's not traditional. Will I still use it? Absolutely, because it is delicious and I'm living dangerously today. And don't worry, the true traditional pasta are here too, rigatoni and penne rigate. Now that we got that sorted out, let's salt the boiling water like the sea. I'm adding the bucatini now. Too generous 500-gram package because my guests did not just arrive hungry. They exploded through the door like opening scene of a summer blockbuster. And as you can clearly hear behind me, the chaos has already reached cinematic level. Welcome to my Italian soundtrack where the volume raises and survival depends on pasta. Back to the pasta, stir it and cook for 8 minutes. Drain the pasta. Add a few ladles of sauce to the pan and then bring in the pasta. Add your sauce and mix it well with the pasta, letting everything come together slowly in the warmth of the pan, right in the middle of my cozy, wonderfully noisy kitchen. I hope you truly enjoy cooking with me, even with the live, chaotic Italian family soundtrack in the background. This is what a real Italian home looks like, and I wouldn't have it any other way. Kindly subscribe, like, comment, and share my crazy channel because at this point, every recipe turns into a full Italian family sitcom, complete with unexpected guest stars, dramatic plot twist, and someone yelling from off screen. Tune in the next episode. Next recipe. Ciao!